Wait, hold on. And then the next question I would ask in tandem to that is then, if this being you're describing, you do not understand the characteristics, what drove you to believe this entity exists? Because if you're saying
Wait,
just
wait,
because
wait,
something
wait.
can possibly be
Understand, understand.
necessary,
I don't need the elaboration because I'm going to probably forget the first point if we keep going on. So, in response to the first point, once again, that just doesn't follow at all. I gave her specific characteristics, and then the argument's not just going to keep. Wait, actually, can you repeat the first thing because you just.
Yeah, the first thing. Okay, here, I'll just summarize it real quick. The
Yeah.
first thing is that arguing that your God isn't
Oh
going to be
wait,
a
yeah,
part
never
of a
mind, never mind.
religion,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you said that I need to send
even though his
verses or something
denotation
like.
literally supports it.
Wait,
But okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You said religion is the belief of a god, or it can be the belief of a god. Denotatively, that god or my belief fits the criteria for being a religion. There's no definition at all that you propose that says verses are needed or a specific book is needed at all. All it says, and the only essential property you specifically propose, you yourself propose, is that the posit or the belief that a god exists. If I believe that a god exists, I meet the criteria for a religion being posited here, which is infinity's religion. Now, the second point, I do understand his properties. I don't understand why you keep saying his properties are ununderstandable or uncomprehendable. The properties are literally to be eternal and necessary. That's all his properties are. If you want, like, I mean, well, yeah, there's literally, I don't know what you mean by the argument can just keep on being reduced and reduced, reduced. Some people, once again, do not believe in necessary things existing. Furthermore, some people do not believe in eternal things existing. Some people believe everything was created. There's no such thing as eternal or to be eternal. There's no such thing. Some people believe that statement is meaningless. So, yes, multiple people debate these premises. I don't understand why you keep saying that they don't.
so yeah. But here's the thing, right? Even beyond the textbook definitions of what these things are, there is yet to be a religion that I have seen that holds no characteristics for the God, right? And especially if the God is described as an intelligent entity that holds no characteristics for the God. And why I would not go into that argument is if, unlike, let's say, Christianity or Islam, right, whereas there are characteristics for the God, now what you have is now a claim. You no longer have the attributes of a God because, first of all, God needs a creation story. God needs an attribute of creation stories. That's what we see in every single bit of religion.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
Infinity. Let me
understand?
respond
So
to this.
bro, hold on. So my argument now is I cannot debate with you about an entity to which you've only given one characteristic.
Wait, okay, so let
First,
me
Wait,
respond to
no,
that. Wait,
Infinity. Let me
wait,
respond to
let me,
this.
hold on, wait, hold
Let
on, you
me
can respond to
respond to
this. Wait,
this.
hold
You've
up,
been
hold on, you
responding.
can
Oh
respond
my
after this.
god.
For the religion thing, in most religions, they actually posit the characteristics I'm positing currently, which is that their God is necessary and eternal, so I don't understand why you brought that up. Secondly, all the characteristic is, analytically, is a property. A property is an identifying feature. We can identify, for example, a necessary being from, or in comparison to an unnecessary being, therefore it being an identifying feature analytically. So if he has a necessary property, that means that he is necessary, therefore it follows that he has a characteristic. The same as if he's eternal, we can identify that from someone who isn't eternal, therefore it is an identifying feature analytically for that. So the argument follows that he does have characteristics that I'm literally proposing and saying that they apply to him. Then you just keep on going in circles saying that everything needs to be created, everything needs to be created. What is the argument as to why everything needs to be created? There is no logical contradiction, and God just existing necessarily and eternally. There's no argument against that at all, and then so you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, Bishop, I got a question before you continue arguing with Infinity. What if I put forth a religion that is fully religion and man-made? Obviously, that's what religion is, because it's going to be belief of God, man dependency, and everything, right? What if I put forth a religion that doesn't hold a creationalist perspective, meaning that God doesn't hold this creation of the universe? Like, I can name a religion right now if you want.
yeah, then you perfect. If you could have text for that religion,
Yeah,
right? Then
yeah. There's
is
text,
there,
there's scriptures for the religion and everything.
Yes.
Okay, the
If,
religion, the religion for well,
wait,
yeah. So
wait,
the okay, hold on. Let me
let me. I think you said
go
what
ahead.
they call it. Do I agree with you? I was like, yeah, perfect. If there is what they call it there is text for the religion, there are verses for the religion,
Yeah,
then 100% I can go do my research on the religion and then we can have a
perfect.
debate
All right,
because you
bet.
can't just say
Well, yeah,
theism.
I'll just opposit or composite the religion that I'm talking about. So the religion specifically, obviously, we got this denotated value of understanding for what religion is, which is just simply the belief of a God. So classical deism holds that the God doesn't act as a sense of creationalist, meaning he didn't create the universe. There's no origin story for him. He could just be a posit to be eternal and hold this contingency of necessary of it being, obviously, right? So that would be a religion. But a different thing that I think you want to approach is by what scriptures. It seems like that what you're asking, right? By saying this, I would just reference Hinduism, the god Shiva. Are you aware what he does? He's a God of destruction, but doesn't act as a sense of creationalist. He acts as a sense of providence when needed. But that's too distinct, right? Whenever you say creationalist and providence, to be provided on this creation that is already there instead of be provided on why this creationalist is there. It's two different.
Perfect. Was that God created?
Was that God created? He's eternal.
Okay, the deities themselves are eternal, right?
The being, yeah, I would guess so. The deity of the God.
So,
Yes.
what do they present as an aspect of nature?
They present
I don't know.
destruction
What
as
is-
in Hinduism because that's the God I'm
Okay.
referencing, Shiva,
They present destruction,
as a sense of providence
right?
because he doesn't cause.
Wait,
a
I'm sorry
creation.
here. How does this disprove that the characteristics of my God is going to be him being eternal and necessary?
What?
What is the argument against why being eternal and being necessary aren't characteristics? I just gave an argument that
Sorry, are you arguing with Oso's
no,
Yeah,
I'm
wait,
arguing,
wait,
I gave an
hold on.
argument as to why a characteristic would be being necessary and eternal is going to be classified as a characteristic, and you said that he has no characteristics, even though I made an argument as to why he does.
Yeah, and
Why
basically, I was just further supporting that point by saying, oh, religion by your own definition and denotology is a crazy word, denotation of this said thing. I just gave you a religion and everything, and it was relating to you by saying you need scriptures or biblical senses from this God, right? Or this deity, and not hold a creationalist perspective. So, like, I just gave you one of those that holds infinity's point of view, that holds these existential characters or characteristics, like you like to say, of aspects like not the omnis, obviously necessary and eternal. I believe, right? Infinity.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So perfect.
Characteristics.
Perfect. I feel like your argument in contrast to infinity is a bit different because infinity is describing more of a omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient God. Yeah,
Wait.
yeah. That's what you've been saying.
I'm doing the opposite. I literally said he has no omni properties. The only properties I'm proposing is that he's eternal and that he is necessary.
No, you presented that point later on. That was the first point you brought up. Now,
I said that most religions posit that there's omni
Okay,
properties
fine.
applied to their God. However, since I am
Okay,
not
fine.
most religions, my religion is that God is simply an eternal being who exists possibly necessarily, and he exists necessarily because of him existing possibly necessarily.
Yeah, that's why we reference the modal
fine,
ontological
fine.
argument as well.
So I think I'll enter your question in a minute. Yeah. Whose point should I enter
You
first?
can respond to
answer,
Soul,
yeah.
and I'll repeat the question after.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
So since do you know
So
my question?
what evidence do they have that this entity exists?
So you're answering my question with a question, right?
You said you'd present an entity that does not require creation. You did, and now I'm meant to prune that entity to prove the existence, right?
Not just okay. I don't think you're understanding my point, right? My point was just further on supporting infinity's argument by the modal ontological argument, giving him like supplementary details, I guess you can call it, right? By saying, oh, there is relation to his argument because his argument actually fulfills a classical deism approach, which is a religion by your own denotation of what a religion is. And further on supporting that, you wanted scriptures and biblical studiments of these natures of these gods, right? Then I gave you that by saying Hinduism and Shiva, who acts as a sense of providence and neither nor has a origin or creates the universe.
Fine. My question to both of you then is, what is the evidence? Because if you say just because something has a purpose, it must exist, that contradicts so much because the question would then be, what evidence do you have of this entity and which senses were you able to use?
So you can present my evidence first.
Y'all don't let me finish.
My evidence is going to be shorter, so you present mine first.
Chill.
No, that's fine. I'm pretty sure both of our evidence are modal ontological anyway. Like it's just
Exactly.
corresponding.
Wait, y'all, hold up now. Y'all should calm down. Damn.
Wait, we're calm down. You can finish.
It's a 2v1 and I'm still getting interrupted.
No,
Calm
go
down.
ahead.
Go ahead.
We're trying to stay cordial. I'm just trying to whenever you're saying these questions and everything, I'm warranting interruptions because they're not relating to the purpose of the debate, basically.
Yeah, but you can't determine the purpose of the debate, seeing as every single time you guys speak, no matter what topic you bring up,
No,
right?
I could entirely.
You see what bro? You guys aren't even letting me say a word.
I just told him to chill.
Yeah, my fault. That's my fault. Go ahead.
I'm just telling him to chill, man.
Yeah, because no matter what argument you guys bring up, right, I have not, to my knowledge, while we've been here, I've never said it has nothing to do with the conversation. I would then just attack it differently or separately from the topic. So back to what I was saying, you must then bring, if you've made the claim, right, that there is some deity, and you cannot just deposit that just because this deity has a purpose or has some reason to be, that means the deity must then be. I will then ask to you, give me physical evidence,
Oh my
be it
god.
Oh,
be it how your brain recognizes this entity, be it how you, a human, within the human capacity of understanding and quantifying things in the universe, now know of this unknowable being
okay.
You want
that
to respond
we
to this?
do not know.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So the argument for that we're both going to use, I'm pretty sure, is that it's really possibly is possibly the case. So we don't need empirical evidence at all. I don't understand why you think we need physical evidence. There's nothing that pauses that argument at all. There's nothing you can use to justify the fact that empirical evidence is necessarily needed or necessarily the case. But in response to the other thing you said, there's no property that we label to our God that describes him as an incomprehensible being. So I don't understand why you keep saying that. Well, how can your brain understand this? How can your limited human understanding grasp this God and his properties? What's necessary and what's, for example, eternal? All those things don't have to apply to God specifically. That thing, for example, being eternal can apply to the universe. Being necessary can apply to us. We can believe. You can believe that everything is necessary. You can believe that soul is necessary because if yeah, I mean, I can get the argument if you want. Just tell me after. But if you believe that soul is necessary, then and soul isn't a god, then you could just say that he's comprehensible to human nature or the human understanding, and it wouldn't be the case that we can't comprehend him. That's tautological. If he's comprehensible, then he isn't incomprehensible, obviously. So once again, you keep on saying that can you posit a God without a purpose, or if he has a purpose? Our God does not need a purpose. Even if he does have a purpose, that doesn't defeat him existing. All our God needs is the property of being necessary and eternal. Since it is possibly necessary that a God exists, then it is necessarily the case that God exists. The argument goes as follows. If it is possible that something is necessary, it is necessarily the case that X exists. It is possible that something is necessarily, therefore X is necessarily existent.
Exactly. My question, you keep missing my question.
So it's analytical
You
evidence.
made,
That's the justification.
you made the claim. You said this entity exists, right? And to say you do not need empirical proof or evidence to prove a thing you've said is just factually incorrect, because as we know it, you need evidence. You are using circular logic that just
Okay, yeah, let me
because this thing
respond.
can exist, that means it must exist, and that could be used for 100% of multiple cryptids and things seen around the world, because you've now made the claim. You said A and B exists. I then asked to you, I need evidence that A
Yeah,
and
yeah,
B
yeah, yeah,
Okay, wait,
yeah.
wait. I
exist.
want to respond. I
Wait,
want
wait,
to
wait. So
respond.
hold on, hold on. Okay, you can respond to the other point, but let me just clarify
Okay, go
something.
ahead.
I never said that no evidence is needed. I gave you different method of
You said no
evidence. Wait,
empirical
hold on, stop
evidence.
cutting me off, please. You just said you want to be charitable. I never said that there was no evidence that was needed to be proposed. I said there's no argument as to why empirical evidence is the only method we can use to justify it. I gave analytical evidence. I said since it can be the case that due to there being no logical contradiction, an argument as to why there's no logical contradiction is because the proposition is identical with itself, the proposition is either true or false, and the proposition is either true or false. There's no middle ground. So that's the evidence as to why it can be the case. Something necessary or something being possibly necessary does not contradict the laws of logic. Therefore, it follows that it is possibly necessary. If it's possibly necessary, that means it's necessarily the case, because necessary by definition, meaning its analytical justification, means it exists in all possible worlds. So if it's possibly necessary, that means it's necessary. Therefore, it is necessary for God to exist. That follows. You keep on trying to say we need evidence, we need empirical evidence. I already gave you a form of evidence. You're not attacking it at all. That's not circular reasoning at all. And then the reason why you cannot apply this argument to other religions, or at least most religions, is because most religions posit omni properties, which entail a logical contradiction, meaning it is not possible or even necessary for the God to exist. There is a contradiction. Contradictions cannot exist in
Okay.
your worldview.
All right, yeah, yeah.
So
Wait, wait,
my
Bishop,
question now
Bishop, hold up.
my my
I wanted to ask one
well,
question towards you.
okay.
Okay, yeah, very simple. It seems like you're kind of like an empiricalist yourself. I'm not sure if you are. Do you posit that empirical justification is the only means of measurement to attain truth? I'm just curious.
Not necessary to maintain to take
Yeah, you're gonna have to repeat that. You cut it out. Sorry.
an outstanding claim. That means it is a claim that does not require, like, how do I put it? If you are making the claim there is Bigfoot,
Mm-hmm.
yes, there needs to be empirical evidence that there is Bigfoot. If you're making the claim that let's say infinity killed so and so, unalived so and so because what do you call it? Because he was jealous. Now that is not really an extreme claim. Unlike saying that there is an entity that science, the bodies of science have not found, right? Well, I've lost my train of thought, but I think that should chalk up my question. That they, what do you call it? Bodies of science have not found. Humans have not found. So I want to ask you this: when you're making an extraordinary claim,
Mm-hmm.
do you not require empirical
Wait,
evidence?
let me
Okay,
answer
yeah,
And
this.
no,
if
no, no,
so,
no. I
is
want to
that a
answer
good
this. I want to
claim?
answer this. This is relating to me. All right, right. So you're basically asking me like extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. These extraordinary evidence can only be justifiable in empirical means, right? My response to that would be simply asking you a question. Do you think asking for or trying to make a claim such as this person or this thing is in existence is extraordinary?
Wait. So before
Hold
you
on, no, no,
continue,
no,
we're
no.
not
Let
talking
me
about.
just ask him. Wait, wait,
Wait,
wait, wait.
Wait.
Infinity.
Yeah,
Ask him
I
this
know.
after.
The question's gonna be
Ask
that.
him
Hold on,
this
hold on.
after, please, please,
Wait,
please,
I'm just
please.
clarifying something. It's not an
Oh my
easy
God!
question.
I
So
just ask him this after,
it's
please.
not. It's not a question. It's a claim.
Okay, okay, fine. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. So we're not talking about science here. We're not talking about what can be scientifically measured. We're talking about what can be philosophically justifiable. That's different from just science. When I say that something is
no,
possibly necessary, we're not talking about science because I'm not talking about naturality. I'm not talking about nominological impossibilities. I'm talking about logical impossibles and impossibles.
Okay, okay.
you,
Hold on,
what you,
Bishop,
what
Bishop.
you've
I'm so
done.
sorry. I just want
Wait,
you to
So
answer
you're
this
wait,
going.
question.
So you're going circular
no,
because you're
you can't ask
presupposing
me.
this is an extraordinary
Wait.
claim.
I'm getting two
No,
questions,
no, no, because I
and
want
you're
you to answer
telling me
mine
what?
first. Answer mine
Wait,
first.
calm down, calm down. I'm going to answer your question.
Okay, wait,
I'm
wait, wait.
going
But
to
I
answer
wasn't
your.
finished with my question. Hold up.
Wait, bro, calm
All right,
down.
go ahead.
Jesus, it's a 2v1,
All right,
and
just
yet y'all
answer.
are fighting over me. Calm down.
Hold
I'm here
on.
for both of you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
What?
fine.
Calm
Go
That's
ahead.
not a
down.
game.
Answer my
I'm
question.
here for both of you.
All right,
Relax.
you
You
can
understand
answer
my
my
point?
question.
Calm
Wait, can
down.
you just answer
Calm
Soul's question? I didn't ask the question at all. I don't understand
No,
what you're
no,
saying.
no,
It's
no,
two
no, no.
questions.
Wait. You people are setting the terms for the argument when there are two of you making the argument.
Wait,
I am
no,
saying
No,
Soul
he
there
made
is
made
a
a
one
claim. He
claim.
made a
person.
He asked the
claim. I
question,
asked a
and I
question.
didn't make it. I
Wait,
made a
I will
claim.
answer your questions in accordance to how I want to answer your
Wait.
question.
There's no
You won't.
question. Wait, hold on. There's no
No,
questions. There's a
no,
question and a
wait.
claim. That's
Chill down.
different.
Calm down.
Calm down, but
Infinity.
you
Yo,
keep
Advance.
conflating
Can you
strong and the
please
other
tell him to
things.
answer
You
the
are
one question
not
and then
let.
attack the
Have
claim
you
after,
noticed how
maybe?
both of you are letting me? You said when I interrupted you, you said let's be cultural about it. I
Yeah.
was like,
But,
okay,
oh
then,
wait,
and
you
then
can.
we
I'm allowing you to go. I'm just
then
saying, stop, please stop putting words in our mouth. There's no argument. There's one
no,
question. There's. Well, hold
no,
on.
you
You're cutting me off, even
wait,
though you just said you
no,
didn't
no.
want me to cut you off.
You've
You're
been the
cutting me
one
off, even
putting
though you
words.
just said you did
You've been
not
the
want us
one
to cut
putting
you
words
off.
in my mouth because you made the claim that I
No.
am not
Why are
coming
you?
from a
No, you just cut
scientific
me off to say that.
standpoint.
If you're not speaking, I'm
You are
just.
the one making the claim that I am not coming from a scientific standpoint.
Okay,
Wait,
wait,
Bishop,
wait,
I
wait. So
never
you
Bishop,
made.
agree, Bishop? Wait, wait, wait. You
hold
agree?
on,
You
wait,
agree?
hold on. What
Wait.
Bishop? Hold on,
You are
wait.
the one. Say you are the one that deposited that. No, we are
Yeah,
not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
Okay,
So
about
answer the
scientific.
question first and
let
attack
me
the claim
finish what I
after.
was saying because
You
you're
are the
failing to
one.
understand.
Hold up, no. You
Okay,
guys had
you
your two
just
times to
you just
talk.
got your
You
feedback.
guys,
Let me finish what I was
both of
saying.
you had two times to talk. Allow me
Bishop,
my
I
one
didn't
time
finish
for
talking. You cut
interruption.
me off. What
Okay,
the
nah,
fuck?
Allow me
Infinity.
to
Just let him go.
finish.
Just
No,
let him
allow
go at this
me
point. We're
to
not gonna go
finish
nowhere.
there now.
Just let him go.
What is this?
Go
Both
ahead,
of you
Bishop.
asked a
Bishop. Just
question.
Bishop. We're
I'm
letting you
not
go.
quiet.
Stop. I never
Both of
asked a
you. Then
question.
allow me to
Stop
talk.
cutting me off. I'm trying to
Then
make a
allow
point.
me
I'm
to
trying
talk.
to make a
Both of you
Bishop,
point.
we're allowing you to
deposited
go.
a
Hold on,
question.
Infinity.
I
Just
can't
be quiet.
even
It's not gonna go
reply
nowhere.
to
It's
any
not
of
gonna go
I'm
them.
going
nowhere.
to let you finish. Stop
It's
cutting
not
me
gonna
off.
go
Okay.
nowhere.
I didn't
No,
stop cutting me off so
no.
you could
Both of
stop
you
cutting me
literally
off so
were
you can
talking.
understand.
And
But
I
Infinity,
said
Infinity,
nothing.
please,
you don't know
please,
what you're saying.
please,
Allow me to
Infinity,
Oh my
finish.
please,
god.
please.
Allow
Just
me
let him,
to
let him.
finish. Both of you
Yes,
got your
Bishop,
Let you
talking
Bishop, we're
finish.
time.
You
allowing
made
you.
a
We're
point.
Both of
allowing
you
you.
got
You're
All
your
trying
right.
to make
talking time.
multiple points. You're trying to make
Both
multiple points.
both of you got your talking
Yes,
time.
go
You
ahead.
people are
I
on
Answer
the
didn't
the.
get you
same
cut me
side,
off.
and you're
You
not
cut me
allowing a
off. I didn't
singular
get my
me.
talking time. You cut me
You
off.
people are not
All
allowing
right, go
just
ahead,
me
Bishop.
to
We're allowing you. We'll stay
people are not
quiet.
allowing
All
just
right, go
me
ahead,
to
Bishop.
reply. You